All right. Welcome back to the Dojo of Gain. Today we're going to take another look at Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz and make a little bit more predictions. And we're going to go ahead and see what Joe Rogan has to say on the topic and see what he predicts. Now, if you aren't familiar with Joe Rogan, which I'm sure you are, I'd be surprised if you're not. He is a UFC commentator, so he should have a very good prediction because fighting is basically his job. Let's take a look.
His Nate Diaz fight is fast approaching, and the drama leading up to it keeps getting bigger. Everyone has something to say about the fight, and Joe Rogan has even put his 2 cents in. Let's check it out. Jake Paul is definitely a promoter when it comes to hyping fights, and he doesn't like how Nate isn't doing his part to hype up their fight. Jake stated, "That's what I wanted. That's why I signed up for this, is to give the people a show and to squash this beef." He talked a lot more to me before we
Nate doesn't give up.
Signed up to fight, so he's kind of being up in that sense. I expected more out of him, and I expected him to carry that gangster attitude and to not take my insults. But he's pretty much rolled over and has been quite boring, which pisses me off. But I'm used to carrying these promotions. It's no different in this one.
Nate's too much on cloud 9 to get mad about anything.
Nate Diaz says he only took the fight to put Jake in his place, and he thinks that Jake was extremely disrespectful.
And then he was talking shit to Connor.
Yeah, he was trying to get the Connor fight.
He was talking shit to Connor and dissing his wife and shit on some real disrespectful stuff that he shouldn't have been saying. And nobody's saying shit. I'm the one who said, shut the fuck up, bitch. That fool will whip your real ass. Have your ass for real and have some respect.
Like in real life, too.
You're going to disrespect somebody's wife and stuff like that who will actually whip your ass. To get a fight like that, that surpasses the fight game.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real fight, and you should shut the fuck up. And no one's saying anything because everybody's acting like the whole roster of the UFC. Everybody's acting like
he's a
he
fake
can't
fighter.
Really fight. I'm like, yeah, but he should shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And no one's speaking up and saying shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So they shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then everything escalated to whatever, and I'm like, all right, well, shit. Let me handle what I gotta handle, and then I'll be out.
Naturally, Jake.
All right, Jake Diaz sticking up for Conor McGregor. That's what's up considering their past, but then again, they're professionals, so there's no reason for them to dislike each other because of their fights in the past. And it looks like Nate Diaz, he's obviously a stand-up guy, so doesn't surprise me that he's standing up for him, but it is a good thing, and let's keep looking. I mean, Jake Paul dissing Conor McGregor's wife, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I believe that Jake Paul's personality, which it's not I believe, I kind of know for a fact, Jake Paul's personality is a complete exaggeration in order to sell more pay-per-views, obviously, so he's going to be more disrespectful than he actually is. I don't think this is his real personality. I've seen some podcasts with him and everything, and he seems like he's a bit calmer than what he puts off when he's doing these promotions, and obviously he knows what he's doing. He's a businessman. He makes hundreds of millions of dollars doing these things, so can't knock the guy.
Jake had plenty to say about Nate, and he's even given his own impression of the fighter.
We're here with Nate Diaz at the Stockton Triathlon. How are you prepping for your fight on August 5th against Jake Paul?
Well, I'm here I'm here to do a triathlon, stay in shape, get my swimming and biking, all that stuff. And I'm gonna beat that white boy ass.
What have you been doing different to prep for this fight?
Man, I always go hard, and I'm just a fighter. So when I get in there, punk, I'm coming for his head, and I always run triathlon before my fights and shit. Yeah, Jake Paul. Come on, bitch.
Thank you.
Interestingly enough, Nate has admitted that the weight gain he's gone through for the fight has made him feel a certain way. Nate stated, "I've been eating a lot of food and getting heavier. I did feel slower at first when I was eating and trying to get big because I was on a weight gain diet, eating all kinds of stuff to get as big as I could. To a certain point, I was like, dude, I'm lazy and tired and I'm working out like a meathead right now. I was lifting weights, bodybuilding, and all that stuff. It made me tired and lazy from carrying the extra weight. Just made me drowsy. At a certain point, I just eased up on it and created a new plan. Then I had a lot more energy and started doing more things. I was exhausted everywhere I go. Like before I was about to train, I was doing all the stuff that I love to do, and I'm sitting there like, man, I don't even want to go." Meanwhile, Jake Paul couldn't feel better about the...
Okay, that weight gain is a big no-no considering Nate Diaz's age. Losing any type of speed is going to be a very bad disadvantage because regardless of how good your shape is, when you get older, you're going to be a bit slower. So considering Jake Paul's in his 20s, I don't think the weight gain's a good idea, but it is a requirement for the fight. Maybe Jake Paul should have just lost weight, but considering he's the one throwing out the money, he's the one who's making the rules. Jake Paul, picking an older guy, picking a UFC guy instead of an actual boxer, he's obviously trying to guarantee a win. He's trying to guarantee those millions coming in and keeping his fans happy. That's all that it's about. Otherwise, he would pick somebody who was a boxer and who was the same age as him, right? Everybody knows this. If you're disagreeing, then you're just naive. Sorry.
The upcoming fight. Jake stated, "Man, I have the biggest chip on my shoulder. The biggest chip on both shoulders. Coming back with vengeance, refilled with that hunger that I had in the beginning of the sport to prove people what I was capable of. The lion lost. I retreated back into the jungle. I took notes of everything. I got better. I trained. And now this lion is going to come out and maul this dude. And he's gonna have to pay. He's gonna have to pay for all this hard work, all this sacrifice I've made in the camp." Nate doesn't think that Jake is going to be an easy fight, but he says that was never what he wanted.
Obviously, I'm going to sit here and ask you the question, you think you're going to win, you're going to lose, whatever. Obviously, I don't think you ever say you're going to lose. But why do you think this fight is going to be easy for you?
Well, I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think any fight's easy.
Yeah.
Even if they get done in a minute or less, and usually that has to do with the preparation and stuff, but I don't want an easy fight. I want hard fights. I want the biggest fights, the best fights that you can get, and that's what I'm aiming for off the bat. To fight on the biggest stage in front of most people against the biggest opponent, against the most opponent. So I think that's what I'm dealing with here right now at the moment in this point in time.
Interestingly enough, Brendan Schwab actually believes that Nate could be big trouble for Jake if the fight lasts long enough. Brendan stated, "If Nate Diaz takes it serious like a real fight..."
All right, they're taking forever. Let's go ahead and get to Joe Rogan, because that's why we clicked on this video in the first place, right?
Dominate him in any sport with ease. Remember, once a quitter, always one. Joe Rogan thinks that Jake is doing things smart by taking this fight though. Joe stated, "Well, the Diaz fight is a big name and big money fight, but he is a lot bigger. He is a lot bigger than Nate. He's playing it smart." Well, the next question on everyone's mind is the $10 million offer from Jake Paul to fight in the cage next.
Nate, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Hold on.
How you doing, bro? I'm excited for August 5th. How you feeling?
Doing good.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you saw, but Jake tweeted earlier today that the offer is still on the table for there to be an MMA match after you guys fight, because he's calling out the people that are saying that offer was never on the table. What's your response to that?
What happened? Right out the way.
Right. So that's not a thing that you don't think that's going to happen, or you're not sure? Okay.
What happened?
Oh yeah, he said it's $10 million.
What?
For the $10 million offer for you guys to fight in the cage.
It's gonna cost more than that.
Nice.
In the cage, I think Jake Paul loses, but who knows? He surprises people. Maybe he's secretly been training MMA this whole time. But if he hasn't, learning kicks and takedowns and jiu-jitsu, elbows and all the other stuff that comes along with MMA is not that easy, so I would say he would probably lose. But that's going to wrap up the video for today. If you think Nate Diaz is going to win, you can let me know down below. If you think Jake Paul is going to win, you can let me know. To be honest with you, I am rooting for Nate Diaz. I prefer Nate Diaz, but I'm going to be realistic. I think Jake Paul is going to win.
Shit. I'm the one calling the shots. I don't get stuck in the box. Feel like I've been through a lot.